All right. Tune out now if you don't want to hear anything about Batman versus Superman.
Or if you like DC and get mad when we talk
hard
about...
spoiler right there.
Yeah. Martha.
We're going to drop a really hard spoiler.
Martha. No, we already did it. It was too late.
3,
Martha time.
2, 1... Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Superman is Jesus.
All right. So,
Liam, I want you to talk about how Superman is Jesus.
Okay, so in Man of Steel, because it's important that you watch Man of Steel, I think, before watching this, just for context.
Yeah.
There's a suspicious amount of times where Superman is basically
being
portrayed as a Jesus.
At first
figure.
figuratively, and then literally.
And it gets more and more on the nose.
The space shot is the most ridiculous one.
The figurative being where Jesus is in the background of the church. The literal being where he is doing the Christ.
Yes. So, Dawn of Justice, like I said on Twitter, is like going to church.
It
is
well,
like
so now you understand what Wooly was saying about how like the question is posed, is Superman Jesus, but the camera agrees with that.
Yes, exactly. The camera follows it like, yeah, this is Jesus and he's the devil.
Now, the answer to why is way easier and dumber than you think. It's really simple because all you have to do is think about what Zack Snyder is for a second. Zack Snyder is about majestic imagery, slow motion, and music. And he does those things well.
He's great at them.
Sometimes he overdoes the music, but in general, that's what he does well. But narrative structure...
He's a music video man.
That's literally his background, like McG of Terminator Salvation fame.
Yeah.
His narrative structure always goes out the window, and in all of his movies is a complete failure, with the exception of ones where he adapted it from someone else's story, like Watchmen or 300, where it wasn't him that put those events in sequence.
Yeah.
When he gets to create from scratch, you're gonna get A, you're gonna get B, and he doesn't know how to do anything else.
Hey, can we talk about some narrative foibles?
Let's do it. Let's get in there.
No reason to exist.
Let's get in there.
Like, for example, the scene where Bruce Wayne goes downstairs and breaks into the server room and plugs some shit into the servers and hacks in. Wait, that didn't happen. There was a USB cable sticking out the ceiling of the server room that he plugged a USB device into.
You mean the super secret Luthor servers that are located unlocked next to the kitchen?
There was a USB cable sticking out the ceiling that he plugged the USB drive into and went, we're in. We hacked it. We hacked the system.
When you shoot a nuke into space and it blows up two people that are in space and it's coming from the Earth and it hits them from the underside, why does one end up traveling back down to Earth
directly straight, like so straight down,
play position that the nuke came from? And why does target B just stand still in space where it was?
When Superman, or I should say Clark Kent, who works for the Daily Planet, which, by the way, is a Metropolis paper.
That's correct.
Is assigned to go to the big game and write an article on the party.
Yes.
Does not go to the game.
That's correct.
His newspaper does not have coverage for the game.
In fact, when Perry shows him the run sheets, they're blank.
He does not finish his article on the party.
Yeah.
And he instead wants to push an opinion piece on a neighboring city issue in the Metropolis newspaper when Clark Kent is not fired either as Superman or as a journalist.
Yeah.
And the problem...
how is he not fired?
The problem
Do your job, dipshit.
And the problem with all of these issues we're talking about is you can literally write them differently and they don't exist. If Bruce had just opened up Luthor's glass doors and popped it into the server tower, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
No issue.
If the journalistic process had been represented just an inch better...
Also, why would Perry not be interested in what is clearly a better story in general? But regardless, why would he
because Batman isn't news, because Batman is 300 feet away now.
But also, Superman, Clark pushing that is an opinion piece. That goes in the opinion section of the newspaper. That is not... that kind of story. By the way, my girlfriend's a journalist. She got really into this.
I need to bring this up again because Liam, it hit you in the theater, even though you had already heard me say it.
Yeah.
The fact that Gotham City and Metropolis
is like 2 feet away from each other.
2 feet away from each other.
Can we
breaks
Okay.
Every single scene, it makes no... How does Clark Kent not know about Batman?
So please raise all points in form of a question.
Yeah.
How does Clark Kent not know about Batman?
Just to answer you, some people told me that apparently that has been canon previously. And
That's stupid.
And I still find that baffling.
The man who can hear Lois Lane being attacked in Africa doesn't know about Batman? Yeah. Hey, wait a second.
The reason he can do that is because he memorizes the heartbeats of all his loved ones.
Oh.
Except his mom.
Except his mom.
Except his mom.
Conveniently needs Batman to show up to do the job.
To use his non-lethal napalm.
Hey, guys.
What was Superman doing while Batman was saving Martha?
He was flying from...
What did you think he was
He was flying from Gotham to Metropolis, which, as we've said, is right next to each other. So he took about 10 seconds. Yep. So wait, why did Batman have to go save Martha Kent? Because the goons would kill Martha Kent if they saw Superman, right?
What is fight scene followed by bat napalm?
But wouldn't the Batman also be a good reason to kill Martha Kent in such that the guy tries to kill Martha Kent? So why didn't Superman just fly over there and beat up those guys in 2 seconds?
Why did you want Batman to kill Superman or Superman to kill Batman, but you were still going to unleash Doomsday? What happens when the mongoose are loose in our city?
Why was Martha Kent unfazed entirely by a man exploding next to her into a packet of blood?
Yeah.
After Batman murders him brutally.
Yeah.
Oh, because Martha Kent is a horrible, morally ambiguous
Hey, wait
creature.
a second. If Batman's willing to kill random goons doing their job protecting a cargo that may not be evil by running them over with the Batmobile, why does he then, at the end of the movie, choose not to even hurt Lex Luthor a little, even though Lex Luthor, killed a bunch of people and caused destruction?
And tried to murder people directly, too.
What?
Why does the stupid space crypto ship suddenly respond to Earth technology of fingerprints and listen to someone like Lex Luthor and totally allow him to interface with it easy, no problem?
So I asked this because I had to know. Apparently, those ships actually do use some form of DNA imaging.
Wow!
And so getting in like that is feasible. Or, you can...
operating the ship?
But
to that level,
the voice controls, the Cortana-esque voice controls,
the Babel fish going into his ear.
Yeah, that bit doesn't make sense. Apparently, there was a bunch of cut Lex scenes.
There are an absurdly huge amount. There are 45 minutes of cutscenes.
Why didn't Superman hear the bomb in the wheelchair?
Because he wasn't paying attention.
Because
he's a bad Superman.
Because no reason.
But heartbeats in Africa.
Yeah.
Why would the world be
He's
mad?
got the most inconsistent power ever. I've never seen a more inconsistent...
Why would the world be mad about a bunch of people that died in a village where he showed up that died by gunfire and bullets and things completely
Well, no, Superman killed them.
No,
Superman caused the conflict.
It was reported in
those people only got shot because Superman showed up.
Why does Lois throw the thing down the well?
Okay. Why did she throw it down?
And more importantly, how does she psychically know to go pick it back up despite no one informing her?
Why would she even think the Doomsday is a Kryptonian?
Batman never says to anybody outside of Superman to do that. She just psychically knows.
She just looks outside and sees bad things, and she's like, "She get that spear."
That guy was a Kryptonian. I can tell
I
by
gotta
journalistic
say,
powers.
I legitimately cannot believe that was able to stay in the script.
Yeah, she picks it up and throws it away.
She literally picks up this Kryptonite spear. She throws it deep in the water, so it's gone. For all intents and purposes, it's gone.
And the instant you see that, you're like, oh my god, she's just gonna go have to fucking get it again.
Or tell somebody about it.
I think within 15 or 20 minutes, they repeat the shot, and she has to go back for it. The notion that could stay in the script is actually because they could have just left it there.
They could have just left it in the spot and have the building fall over, and then Superman would have still just had to climb through the rubble to get it. Same scene.
Her action of throwing it in the water is nice because she's trying to protect her boyfriend.
I'm going to protect Pooperman.
That's really nice. But the notion that it would be kept in, knowing that a minute later the audience would have to watch her undo her mistake.
Well, Lois Lane needs something to do in the finale. Hey, here's
I have a two-parter.
I have a one-parter, so it'll be very quick. How come when Superman is doing the business of being Superman, he looks like he's going to cry? In that montage in which he's pulling the boat and saving the drowning people and all that stuff, he looks
So
miserable.
so I went back and looked at that.
No, you're totally right.
Because you brought that up twice before, and I went back and
because Rich
looked.
Evans brought it up.
Yeah, I went back and really looked, and I read his face and his emotions. They're not as misery, but I read those as like, why are people looking at me this way?
But then why is he making that face when he's pulling the boat?
Because I'm thinking of
not hard.
The scene that they linger on the most is when everyone's reaching out to
And
touch
he's like
him.
confused.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's
But like he's
that's what
lifting
I
the
thought they were
shuttle,
going
he looks
for.
miserable. He's pulling the boat,
I
he looks
read that
miserable.
differently.
I like the bit where the family in the drowning house made sure to bring their paint up to the roof.
Yeah.
Drew a Superman symbol.
Yep.
And then Superman came down as slowly as he possibly
I don't
could.
remember if people will.
This man moves as fast as a fucking bullet.
Zack
Moves faster
Snyder,
than a bullet.
but it was a dramatic lens flare.
I don't know if
Damn
people
straight
can
it
remember
was.
this, but when we saw the trailer that first included that shot,
you said it,
I
yeah.
pointed it out because I'm like, that makes Superman look like a bad person.
Yeah.
Because it
float
makes him
casually
look
down.
like it makes it look like he is intentionally lighting
to do
himself
that.
to look Christ-like, and that's scary. That is legitimately
Snyder,
Just
man.
what's up
scary.
with the speed?
Because if Lex and Batman see him acting like this, that person is terrifying.
All right, here's a simple one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wooly, after
How do you use a spear?
you throw it.
You can poke with
You
it.
can do a bunch of stuff.
You can
with
poke
it.
with it, but in a situation where it's better to throw it, you can throw a
And-
spear.
and Wooly-
You've got a bunch of options.
Wooly,
And here's
Yeah.
part two. Here's part two.
Oh, what's part two?
Why wouldn't Wonder Woman just do that job instead?
No, it's faster if Superman does it.
Uh,
There's no time to get
Because
Wonder Woman back.
better question. Why did Bruce choose a spear?
He chose a.
Can we just talk about this battle scene?
So
for a
here's
second?
the deal. I know exactly why he
a
chose
very
a spear.
obvious reason.
Do you know why he chose a spear?
No.
Because it's a lance of Longinus.
It's not a spear. It's a lance.
Okay.
Because Superman is Christ,
and he has to be pierced with the lance of Longinus.
and the
sense.
reason why he cannot throw it is because he has to pierce the devil with the spear of destiny.
That makes sense.
Now the Kryptonite bullets
Yeah.
would be a genius idea
Yeah.
that would solve a lot instantly, and no one would have to die.
Yeah.
but
Well, except
that's not-
Superman, I
That's
guess.
not biblical imagery.
So that makes sense. Can we just talk about that fight scene for a second? The Superman-Batman fight scene? Okay, Bruce, you got really lucky. Superman decided to catch your gas grenade and
decided to hold it.
and that's all you got.
And he got gassed in the face. Reload your grenade right now.
Right now.
Reload your grenade. No, reload your grenade. No. Reload it now, man.
No, useless guns.
Hey,
Useless,
no, you-
Okay,
traps.
Bruce, use your Krypton knife, right? Wait, you made a speed.
And you planted the spear in the floor because you knew the fight would go there.
Okay. You don't have the knife. Reload your gun right now.
Okay, so this
And then
is
later
where-
on, you
Yes.
get the stupid cinematic dramatic shot of him reloading his
for
grenade
later
at
on.
the last
And he's
possible
only got
second.
three.
Now I want to
It's-
give
yeah.
I want to give that fight one prop. I think that fight has one really awesome, cool
The
moment,
punches?
and it's when he's punching
Yeah.
Supes in the face, and the kryptonite dust is wearing off, and you can see
You should describe
You
that.
can see Batman's fist hit him like normal and rock Clark's face,
Mm-hmm.
and hit him slightly less hard, and then he hits him again, and like his head doesn't move, and then he hits him again, and his fist dents.
Yeah.
And like that's a great moment.
Seeing
That's
it
a
in real
great-
time, like,
So,
yeah.
But the moment
awesome.
it's supposed to be is Batman hooked up to the power.
Yeah, the power
fucking
grid of
grid.
Crime City,
Right.
Crime Alley. Yeah.
And when he and so when he does those diversionary tactics, it's not just here's a bunch of useless guns. It's like, no, I'm going to fry you with electricity, which is
Yeah.
going to actually slow you down for a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to use gas, and I have a bunch of it, right? And it's just, and like we're just the movie's recreating a moment, but doing it worse.
Hey, man.
Superman floating in space and then coming back is the same moment as him being emaciated over Arizona, but again worse.
Yeah.
It was.
But he was even more Jesus-y this time in space. And he came back to life twice in this movie.
Yeah.
Let's point that out. He came back to life and did Christ dares twice in this movie.
How irresponsible are Clark's parents that you have to double down by bringing back his ghost dad to reaffirm that he really shouldn't have saved
so
that
that's
bus full of
really
children.
bad. But there's a single line that Clark delivers that is so baffling to me that I can't understand it. And when I talk to people, I feel like most of them it flew over their heads, like they didn't latch onto it. When Superman is talking to Lois about how he's going to quit being Superman, he says, I thought I could be a force for good. I was trying to do good things for a ghost. And the way that he delivers that implies that he thinks that being Superman is what his dad would have wanted.
And that's the
But
only
that's
reason.
the opposite of what's true. And I thought, well, maybe they retconned it. No.
They doubled
because they
down.
doubled down. So, like, is Clark an idiot? Did Clark watch his dad kill himself and somehow in that process eventually take the opposite message? And like the only reason, and even aside from that, the idea that the only reason Superman is to make his dad happy is horrific. And it goes into the, like, the one thing this movie does well
it's really consistent.
is that this Superman is scary because he's flaky.
You can't trust him. You can't trust him.
And
he needs to be treated this way.
And that is my biggest problem with the movie. So, you know those dream sequences in which Batman either sees alternate futures or it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
Let's
the sick Injustice 2 scene, which was really sick,
So
by the way. It was really cool.
Let's take my two complaints, because there's one for each. One, if that's a dream, get that out of the movie. Get that out of the movie. It's a dream. It means nothing. But
you got to set up your
I don't think it's a dream. I think it's some form of premonition because it's too on the nose, especially with the flashlight.
Well, it could be now that
set up for the next.
So, if that is a premonition of a what if via some time travel shenanigans, we are being led to believe that in this universe, this Superman, the only thing that stands between Man of Tomorrow, gonna save everyone, and eye lasering people in half while they're captured.
Not even Red Sun, but just Injustice Superman.
Right? Is Lois Lane dying tragically.
Yep. One bad day.
One bad day.
And that is not Superman.
That proves it.
That's not I hate Superman.
Again, but
even I know that Superman's supposed to be like a really good person.
And that's more internal consistency. It proves.
Isn't Superman supposed to be a really good person?
At heart, the best person.
He's supposed to be a good
best parents.
A good dumb boy from Kansas who's trying to do his best, right? So the idea that his girlfriend dying
is all
pushes him that far over the edge.
Well, it's
it's not even a brainiac disease. It's not anti-life equation. It's not it's not black kryptonite.
It's Lois died, and he uses the word.
I think this is one of those things where, like, not all comics, but many comics interpret characters differently, and I think the Zack Snyder verse just has this Superman who's this, like,
the problem
depressing Superman.
So I guess this is the biggest problem.
Person.
No, sure, but I just mean, like, he doesn't need to be consistent with other Supermen.
So he is consistent with himself.
He's consistent with the parents.
He's consistent with himself,
and I think that's probably the biggest problem with the movie, because it's like Lex and Batman are right. They are
Lex's
correct.
actions are insane.
Lex's actions, impatience, and methods are all insane and evil, but he's right.
He's right.
Superman in this universe,
this Superman
Superman, is a bomb waiting to go off.
Yep.
Batman's straight up right.
And here's a dream of that bomb going off.
Now let's talk about Martha.
Wait, hold on. Why did Lex? We don't have a lot of time.
I want to throw out some lines. You cut me off last time.
Sorry.
So Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. Can we just fuck off with this line?
Yes.
That's not on the nose. That's right up the nose.
Yeah, no,
that's
he's
the
right.
Worst.
Yeah.
And the line...
Why would Lex care about Clark Kent?
The line that was said on the news, maybe he's not some devil or Jesus character towards Superman. How is that line in this movie?
Because he's Jesus. Do you get it?
But how can you even pose that question and then continue to parade around?
He doesn't understand subtlety.
It's crazy.
He uses the literal lyrics of the songs he wants.
There's red balloons going off in that Watchmen bit.
Everybody wants to rule the world. Why would Lex take the time to do the graphic design work for every other member of the Justice League?
That's what I said, yeah.
Great.
Why would you cinematically show a fight where nothing happens because Batman's trying to steal that kryptonite and then it results in nothing, but then have it get stolen later
in a larger battle scene
off camera?
Yeah.
Good thing those children found the kryptonite in the first place.
Yeah, good thing the children found
Was
it
just because you wanted a car chase?
Yes.
Because I guess that's what happened.
You wanted to see Batman murder somebody by putting them under the wheel of the Batmobile. Okay, so let's talk about Martha. Batman's ready to murder Superman. He's killed people before, but you could argue that those were manslaughter, that those were impediments to his goals, and they were not cold-blooded murder. he has Superman to a point where he is taunting him and cutting his face to show him that he ain't shit. That's premeditated. That's murder, right? He is about to plunge it in, and Superman says, Martha.
I gotta save Martha.
And
Martha.
Batman, who I'm going to imagine, I'm not the best on DC, but I'm going to imagine is often portrayed as the stubbornest and most committed of all of the DC superheroes, has made this decision to kill this guy.
He's Punisher level.
Yeah, just in terms of committal, right?
Yeah.
And
Though they did demonstrate earlier in the movie that this Batman is particularly like hung up,
yeah,
even more than some other
But-
Batman.
Emotional. He's
Yeah,
emotional.
yeah.
he's
The
he
bat floated him away.
he paused
That
it.
is okay.
I burst out laughing.
Like,
Yeah, it was hilarious.
that was when the Jesus counter ticked up to 1 for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
One or 2.
Yeah, Batman's
One,
Jesus
yeah,
now.
1. It's the favorite, yeah.
But okay, so I'll buy a momentary pause and him going, "What's up with that?" And then Lois Lane comes and says, "It's his mommy," and Batman should go, "I don't care," and murder him, but instead suffers a nervous breakdown over what appears to be nothing, and completely backtracks the entire
because he's
movie.
like, I can save Superman's parents from dying for no reason, or his
Because
mom, because he's so hung up on his parents dying specifically for no reason.
Oh.
The interest,
Oh.
any
Not to
man.
say it's good, but
Oh, it's the worst.
Any longtime fan would kind of look at that kind of moment and like either you knew about it or if you didn't, you go, Batman would go, "That's an interesting coincidence." Stab.
can I just ask, by the way, were they always
Yes.
both Martha?
Yeah, totally.
I never noticed
Always.
that.
No,
I never noticed
I
You know
never
why?
caught it either.
Because back in the 30s,
they
Martha
never-
was
they never-
a relatively common name.
The parents never interact.
which is
so,
why
yeah.
I thought it was interesting when it happened. I was like, "Oh,
that's
clever.
a-
You figured something out, Zach. You got a
okay.
little fun thing in there, but it shouldn't have that much weight to it."
It's absurd. It's absurd that the entire like you've built up for like 90 minutes on how Batman's so mad. Oh, I'm so mad.
I've got one-
and he just gets cock blocked by a name drop. It's crazy.
I've got a closer. So
All right,
if you
let's-
have a, if you
yeah.
have
I've so why the fuck? So they hired some real life celebrities in this movie. They had Neil deGrasse Tyson appear briefly.
Yep.
I
They
thought
had,
actually that bit was really good.
They had Andrew.
Liam's about to get political.
They had Andrew Cooper
Yeah.
come on, which is cool. So I hate that for starters. Way to pull me out of your universe. Way
By
to pull me out of your-
putting my universe in your
This-
universe.
Metropolis
Anderson Cooper?
and Gotham.
Yeah.
Anderson Cooper. Thank you. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. Thank you for placing Metropolis and Gotham in the real world, Zach. Anyway, I'm not too hung up over that, but that's stupid. But hiring Nancy Grace, get the fuck out. She has like literally like led to people killing themselves.
I think that
she is an awful,
I think
awful
that
person.
makes her inclusion perfect.
No, see, she was perfect for the role.
Yeah.
But the notion that you would give her money,
Oh well, that yeah,
like,
well,
like I put, like you.
yeah.
We hired ISIS
Yeah.
for the part of the Middle East.
I think you may
Like,
have
I
stretched
mean,
it somewhat.
I may have stretched
like
it a little,
movie
but Nancy
criticisms-
Grace has a body count.
Yeah,
So
movie criticisms on movie level. My final.
I bet an actor you like beats his wife.
oh sure, sure, but Nancy Grace has public
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
associated with her.
Here's
Anyway.
what I close on.
Americans.
Why does
All right, let's hear the closer.
Batman versus Superman,
Yes.
the Dawn of the
The
Justice
Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of the Justice League. Let's call it the full title.
Yeah, it's Dawn of the Justice
Dawn
League.
of the Justice
So
League.
we're going to start the Justice League, guys.
Why does Superman not say a single word to Wonder Woman in the entire movie?
They don't interact. They don't interact ever. Yeah.
A single word. This is Clark and Diana.
Oh my
Best of best friends.
And when the only time he could, instead of going, "Who are you?" he turns to Batman and says,
Is she with
Is she
you?"
with you?
The only
And
moment
then
there was
and
an
then
opportunity for it.
And then
He
when
goes,
Batman's like, "I thought she was you," instead of saying, "Oh, hello," he goes,
Nothing.
"Nothing."
And then the
dude-
movie continues.
Okay, well, you beat me. You win. because I didn't even notice that, and
Not
that is
even a cough in her general
that
direction.
is patently ridiculous. Also, as some bonus closers, boy, Aquaman looked embarrassing. Boy, wow,
I thought Cyborg looked worse.
yeah.
That was
But Aquaman just looked.
Yeah.
By the way,
Aquaman did the exact stupid thing I thought they were gonna do.
Yeah, get out of my lawn! Get off my property.
And he's slowly coming out like, oh, I'm a fish person.
Did you confuse Eradicator for Cyborg?
No.
Okay.
No.
My girlfriend was very confused, though. She was like, who the fuck is that?
Because last time we talked about Eradicator, and I'm like, what? That's not. Okay.
You know what would have been cool if this movie had Eradicator and Steel and Cyborg Superman
Superboy.
and Superboy.
I gotta say, though,
Don't call him Superboy.
I'm
the Metropolis Kid.
I am baffled because I hated Man of Steel so much that I like this movie better.
Yep, no, I think Man of Steel is a better movie than this, and I've never seen that movie.
I hated Man of Steel so much
This is
that
a
I
better
liked
movie.
this movie better than Man of Steel.
Oh, wow.
Because Pat just said the opposite.
No, this is a better movie.
I think it's better.
And I said it last week. You can fashion some.
I
kind
think
of
this movie is a
watchable
better movie than Man
Yes.
of Steel.
You can fashion a watchable movie.
I guess it goes to show I never actually watched Man of Steel in its entirety. I've seen like maybe 80% of it in bits and pieces.
That's true.
Oh, you should watch it now that you've
No,
seen this.
I'm good. I'm good.
No, this is.
You got to see Zod.
This
no,
is a
I've seen Zod.
This is.
I've seen every single scene that Zod
This
is
is a
in.
significant step up from Man of Steel that has so much. It's like there's no diamond in the rough, but there's a piece of bronze in there.
I gotta say, like, if they can fix the DC cinematic universe, I really like this, like, deathly serious tone and like the toned down colors and like playing it completely different from Marvel.
Batfleck.
If this were as good as the Marvel movies, I would love.
Batfleck had some shining moments.
Because exactly.
Yeah.
And I was talking about it before.
Like Batman
but
might have
people
places
but
to go.
my favorite part of the whole movie, and I know it's not good with Lex's characterization, but it's when he's trying to give that library speech.
Yeah, and he's
and
fucking
he
all
is
over
he
all
is
over
just
the
he
place.
is losing,
Tripping over it,
He
yeah.
is just losing it.
Yeah.
Even though Superman isn't nothing's even happened with Superman, and he is just losing his shit.
He's so caught up in his
He's just
head.
so upset.
Thing is, Liam,
and we know that's because he knows that Superman is right there.
Yeah, comic book fans are tired of joylessness, though.
All right.
No, and that's fair. But I'm just saying, I would love to have that.
So
personally,
here's my alternate ender. In a universe in which no one can tell that Clark Kent is Superman because he wears glasses, how did Lex Luthor know that Clark Kent is Superman?
In a universe where Clark Kent is Superman because of glasses.
Well, that no one can tell that
No one can
Superman
tell.
is Clark Kent because
How did
he's wearing
Lex-
glasses. How did Lex know?
Because the ship told him.
The ship told him?
Yeah.
The ship told him that Superman is Clark Kent.
He was able to
Could've,
ask the
actually.
ship.
The ship knew that it was Clark Kent?
The ship gave him the whole history.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
well, he has databases where he specifically follows. Like he had footage of the
Batman
Flash.
doesn't know?
No, sure. Well, Batman didn't know. Remember, he didn't have all that database stuff from Lex.
No,
until
but
he snatched
Batman
it from
never
Lex's
took
unprotected network.
Batman never took a second to cross-reference some photos.
Hey, you know who
with
else?
the guy that he ran into at the.
Besides Nancy Grace, you know who else might have a body count?
Who's that?
Alfred. He took control of that.
Yeah, he
Batjet
killed those
Yeah,
guys.
that's
and
true.
opened fire.
That's true, eh?
Yeah, Alfred killed
you
all
don't
those
know.
people too.
It
All
might
right,
have been off screen.
So that movie's a fucking train wreck.
Enjoyable.
I was cheering when Superman died. I was woo. And
Can't wait for him to come back.
And then he came back. So the thing is, I couldn't believe they started to bring him back before the end of the movie. I thought they would at least have the decency to hide it until the next movie.
Cue the rave music.
Oh man.
I could not believe that dirt moved.
Yeah,
I could
no.
not believe it.
And you know what? How Christ-like was that last shot of the dirt in the grave?
It's almost like that chess piece that moves a little bit.
Almost.
When Magneto's sitting at the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Except that was good.
No.
At the end of a good movie.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
A
Fantastic
touch
movie.
tone for our time.
Criterion Collection, X-Men 3, Juggernaut.
Zack Snyder, please
Bitch.
continue making music videos. Please stop making movies.